What's up everyone, and welcome back to the MMA Zone. Today, let's get started with Michael Chandler sends a warning to Conor McGregor. With Michael Chandler and Conor McGregor's highly anticipated fight just over 2 months away, the fight has become the talk of the town in the MMA community. Ahead of the fight, Michael Chandler has sent a warning to Conor McGregor and MMA fans around the world, saying during a recent Q&A on Instagram that the pair's June 29th fight in Las Vegas could be the last opportunity fans have to see the Irish star compete inside the octagon. He said on Instagram, "This will be the biggest fight since Conor vs. Khabib. There's something special about this one. On June 29th, you have to buy the pay-per-view because there's a chance this is the greatest comeback in combat sports history by the sport's biggest star. That's why you have to buy the pay-per-view. Or the other option, the more likely option, is I absolutely mollywop this dude and put a beatdown of biblical proportions on him, and this is the last time you ever see Conor McGregor compete inside the octagon." As Chandler said in the same Instagram live, he also has his sights set on a fight with Max Holloway in the wake of the former lightweight Kingpin's UFC 300 win. Would I fight Max for the BMF belt? Absolutely. I think it's no coincidence now that he and I are ranked closely together in the 155 division. I think Max is a real one. Max embodies the BMF. Max created the most holy shit moment, the most BMF moment that we have ever seen. I would love the opportunity down the line. While Chandler is looking ahead to a potential fight with Max Holloway, Nate Diaz recently guaranteed a trilogy fight between himself and Conor McGregor down the line, as he said during a media scrum ahead of his boxing match with Jorge Masvidal.
I have a 100% guarantee I'm going to fight Conor McGregor again, and I have a 100% guarantee I'm going to probably fight Jake Paul again, this f***er again, and Leon Edwards again. That's my hit list.
With the fight between McGregor and Chandler rapidly approaching, it's no secret that both fighters are hoping to be more active going forward following the lengthy layoff. Next up, let's take a look at Money Moicano responds to Paddy Pimblett. Prior to UFC 300, a fight between Renato Moicano and Paddy Pimblett this summer seemed to be on the horizon. With the pair both taking turns hurling verbal blows at one another, the expectation was that with a win over Jalen Turner, Money Moicano would call out the baddie. Following his stunning comeback win, Moicano didn't call out Pimblett during his post-fight Octagon interview, instead mentioning a fight between the two during his post-fight press conference. When Pimblett uploaded his reaction video to YouTube in the wake of the UFC 300 event, he was surprised that Moicano didn't call him out. Despite that, he said that a season of The Ultimate Fighter with the two as coaches could be on the horizon. In a video for his YouTube channel, Moicano reacted to Pimblett's reaction video.
Again, I don't want to trash Paddy Pimblett, but mother is looking huge again. Look at that, my brother. It's a full moon face, my brother. Take it easy on the carbohydrates, my brother. Take it easy. This guy is on depression or something, my brother. Why the f he's talking like that? He smoke weed or what he did, my brother? He look like he's high as f, my brother. Now I see what you're doing. That's why you're doing the live reaction, right? You want the spotlight, my brother. I know UFC 300. You want the spotlight. You want Renato Moicano to go over there and talk about Paddy Pimblett, my brother? I have better things to do with my prime time, my brother.
As Moicano also said, he likes the sound of himself and Pimblett coaching a season of The Ultimate Fighter and appreciated Paddy for showing him respect for his finish over Jalen Turner. With both fighters interested in coaching The Ultimate Fighter, it sounds as though the ball is now in the UFC's court. Next up, let's take a look at Arman Tsarukyan sends a message to Islam Makhachev. Arman Tsarukyan's win over Charles Oliveira put the stricken contender in a position to challenge Islam Makhachev for the lightweight title. Despite the UFC offering him a fight with Makhachev in June backstage after his UFC 300 win, Tsarukyan turned the fight down, saying that he's eager to enter the long-awaited rematch at 100% rather than competing on short notice. Given that, Makhachev will first defend the title against Dustin Poirier at UFC 302 before Tsarukyan has a chance to fight the winner. With plenty of time to prepare for his potential rematch with Makhachev, Tsarukyan believes that the champ is more beatable than many think he is. During a recent interview for Daniel Cormier's YouTube channel, he sent a message to the champ.
I feel like I can beat him, you know, like everybody like think like he's unbeatable or like no one can beat him. People like don't believe like someone can beat Islam. I don't know, like I don't think so. Yeah, he's good, like, but in a top level, like everybody can beat him. This is fight. Maybe you're like you're not ready for the day, or like you got sick, or you're like you don't cut weight very well, and that day you feel bad, or like our first fight with Islam versus Volkanovski. Islam looked bad because of jet lag, you see.
Given that Tsarukyan has been waiting years to avenge his previous loss to Makhachev, it'll be interesting to see how things play out should the two wind up colliding inside the octagon. Next, let's take a look at Ilia Topuria demands BMF fight with Max Holloway. Max Holloway's stunning knockout win over Justin Gaethje at UFC 300 left fans around the world speechless. Following the highlight reel knockout, reaction videos from the crowd surfaced, showing a visibly stunned Ilia Topuria sitting in the front row. As Holloway said in his post-fight Octagon interview with Joe Rogan, he now has a sights set on a fight with Ilia Topuria for the featherweight title. But according to the featherweight champ, unless Holloway is putting the BMF belt on the line, he has little interest in defending the belt against him. As he explained during a recent episode of the MMA Hour,
without the BMF belt, I don't want him at all. If not, I'm gonna fight with Volk, who deserves more than him, the rematch. He has that belt. I'm excited about that. That's why I want him. So he didn't. He's being saying like right now I have a lot of options, this and that. He didn't have any options. I'm the champion right now. I choose the date. I choose the place. So he just has to be ready, and he has to wait for the call.
While Topuria is playing hardball, Holloway seems to have a number of options on his plate after beating Justin Gaethje. As he said this week in an interview, while it looks like a fight with Ilia Topuria is up next, he's also interested in a fight with Conor McGregor.
I mean, it'd be hard to not to say that with him finally getting announced that he's actually fighting to be a Conor 2, the running back. That's the hugest fight, I think. But legacy, ideal-wise, trying to get back to an undisputed title, gotta go with Topuria. You know, he beat the man that I couldn't help but figure it out. You know, and but to see, you know.
From the sounds of things, it's merely a matter of time before Holloway's next fight winds up getting finalized. Next, let's take a look at Tom Aspinall reveals huge news. Prior to UFC 300, Dana White indicated that the UFC would be heading back to the UK later this year for a pay-per-view card, given the fact that the promotion has two English champs in Leon Edwards and interim heavyweight title champion Tom Aspinall. Of course, this fueled discussions around who Aspinall could defend the interim heavyweight title against. However, since then, there had been no further word regarding the card. In a recent video for social media, Aspinall dropped some big news, revealing that he's already signed to fight at the UFC summer pay-per-view card in Manchester and is merely waiting for an opponent.
Right, just back from Vegas, was over there doing YouTube stuff, meetings, all that stuff, had a meeting with the UFC. It has now been confirmed that I am fighting on UFC Manchester, so I'm back home preparing for that now. Started the early stages of training camp, just waiting for my opponent to accept. So stay tuned.
While initially the expectation was that Aspinall and Curtis Blaydes would run things back, Alex Pereira's recent UFC 300 win has left many wondering whether he could potentially move up to fight Aspinall for the interim heavyweight title. Although a fight with Blaydes seems most likely, given that Pereira is expected to defend the light heavyweight title against Magomed Ankalaev, that could change. Now let's shift gears and take a look at Charles Oliveira reveals his next UFC fight after loss. Charles Oliveira's UFC 300 loss to Arman Tsarukyan pushed the former lightweight champ out of the contention for a title shot. Despite that, after a narrow loss, Oliveira seems to be in good spirits and is eager to get back into the octagon. As he said in a video for social media, aside from the stitches over his eye, he's relatively unscathed and eager to resume training before booking his next fight. He said, "Not every day is going to be a day of glory. It was a hard fight. We had the opportunity to submit or even knock him out, but I couldn't find myself. I got some stitches over my eye, I'm a bit swollen, but I'm fine. I already cried, it's part of the game, I'm going to move on now. I will return home, be with my friends, my family, and start training again. I hope that you will continue to cheer for me because everything I'm going through in life right now is wonderful. Thank you, thank you, thank you from the bottom of my heart." In a recent Portuguese-speaking interview conducted this week in the wake of the loss, Oliveira said that he wants to return to the octagon as soon as possible, while name-dropping Max Holloway as a potential opponent. He said, "We don't need to get desperate. I want to come back as soon as possible." Of course, a fight with Max Holloway would be wonderful, but he'll definitely go back to his weight class to fight for the 145-pound title. Justin Gaethje hurt his nose, so we have to think. With Dustin Poirier coming up next for the crack at the title, Arman Tsarukyan next in line for a crack at the winner, and Max Holloway eager to fight Ilia Topuria, it's unclear what the next step is for Oliveira. Next, let's take a look at Jiri Prochazka declines UFC fight. Jiri Prochazka's stunning UFC 300 win over Alexander Rakic not only returned the former champ to the win column after being finished by Alex Pereira late last year, it also re-entered him into the light heavyweight title picture. Following his win on Saturday, Prochazka expressed his desire to run things back with Pereira. However, former light heavyweight champion Jamal Hill had other plans. After his knockout loss, Hill called out Prochazka for a title eliminator. According to Prochazka, He has his sights set on running things back with Alex Pereira rather than fighting Sweet Dreams in a #1 contender fight. He opened up on the situation during a recent appearance on the MMA Hour, shedding light on the status of negotiations with the UFC.
I like to fight for the title, especially after that decision in New York. After that, when I'm taking the fact I won the fight last Saturday. That's the only thing that's what I'm working. What's my management working on?
As Prochazka said to Ariel Helwani, he is confident that his management and the UFC will be able to reach a deal. Of course, Magomed Ankalaev may have something to say about that, given that he's expecting to be next in line for a crack at the light heavyweight title. Sean Strickland sends a threat to Paulo Costa before their fight at UFC 302. While Strickland says that he likes Paulo, he also called him some names and said he would make him bleed. Here's the full clip.
You know, you guys, I like Costa. Costa's nice. He's a funny guy. He makes me laugh. He's pro free speech. I like that guy. But I'm going to make that dirty Brazilian bleed. And you know, I'm going to do it for Brazil, because Brazil doesn't even like Costa. So hey, Brazil, this one's for you guys. Let's get it done.
Here are our top comments from last video. Chandler's idea, let's put two guys who have in their most recent fights lost up for some sort of belt, genius. Bo Nickel really thinks he can do to Hamzat what he did to Brundage. DC jealous because he's an overweight bantamweight. It'll be a mockery to the sport and to the 155/170 belt hold if Conor/Chandler gets first dibs at a 165 belt. Two fighters who aren't active and have lost in their last fight, plus Conor isn't ranked in any division and Chandler isn't even a top 5 at lightweight. Bad idea.